morning.
You say stay still forever.
I want to welcome you this morning. As you can see, I have the distinguished panel of the Spiritual Life Council at Taft here. We're going to talk a little bit about, each person's going to talk a little bit about their own faith tradition as well as different approaches to spiritual practices. But throughout the coming year, we'd like to have lots of discussions with the different faith traditions and maybe agnostics and atheists and others at school around a lot of critical issues. You know, when I was 10 years old, 1966, we're going back almost 50 years ago, Time magazine came out and it said, "God is dead." And that was a reference, being a philosophy major, that was a reference to Friedrich Nietzsche's God is Dead, written in 1882. And so it was really controversial. Even mainstream clergy people like myself came out and were a little upset. It was so much how provocative the cover was. Not so much the content, because it was a time to re-explore what we mean by God, what we mean by our spirit, by spirituality. So I grew up in this little town, Katona, New York, which was little then, and some of you might be from there, but and went to the St. Luke's Episcopal Church. But by the time I was 13, we just drifted away from the church. We were fairly active, and I was confirmed there and an acolyte and all of that. But then I didn't think about God or religion until college, in the mid-'70s. At Boston University, my professor was I wandered into a class as a philosophy major, religions in India, a professor from the Punjab. And I fell in love with this guy, and I took 4 or 5 courses with him. And I'd go into this small room, sort of like the Taft living room, and he'd play the sitar, he'd make Indian food, he had a tambor, he had tablas, he had Shiva Nataraj, picture of Shiva, Buddha statues, all kinds of artifacts in this room, and I just fell in love with it. And I'd go down and get some of my friends, because BU has a huge school of management and business, they are filing out by the thousands, and I wanted to go down. I finally got a few of my friends, said, "Come on down, take a class with Professor Rabar. Let's talk about Taoism, let's talk about Buddhism, let's talk about Zen, let's talk about Hinduism." And so that began 40 years ago. My passion is still real. Religion is still a force in the world, for better or for worse. And I think for better, I think it can heal the world. And you think often, well, ISIL. Do you know? I hope you know what the acronyms stand for. The Islamic State in the Levant, or the Islamic State in Iraq and Syria. But we have our own extreme religion in Christianity, my own tradition. We have lots of, and ultra-Orthodox Judaism, and in Hinduism, and in Buddhism, we have extreme views. But we also have extreme views in secular political ideologies, in the military, and even in the world of business and commerce, where we can be really provincial in our thinking. So it's not just religion. So we have this council. We can engage you throughout the coming year, and I hope you enjoy it. We don't have all the religions represented at Taft, and we'd like to do that in the future, but please enjoy them. We're going to begin with Parnaz, a religion you probably know very little about.
Hi, my name is Parnaz. I'm a two-year junior. I believe I'm in this council because I represent diversity, not only because I come from a religion that is deteriorating, but also because not many people are aware of it. I identify as Indian, but my religion is Zoroastrianism. Zoroastrians started off as a population of 2 million in Iran, but after the Muslim rule took over, the Zoroastrians were forced to convert to Islam. In order to flee religious persecution, the Zoroastrians fled to different parts of the world, mainly India. The fire that we brought from Iran still burns strong for 1,295 years now. The one thing that I appreciate about my religion is our motto: good thoughts, good words, and good deeds, and the simplicity of it all. I believe that religion is what you make out of it. What I make out of my religion is that it expects nothing more of me than to be a good person, not only for you, but for others as well. Zoroastrians wear a thread around their waist, much like the Jews. We also worship the moon, much like the Muslims. We also have a ceremony in which we officially invest in our religion, much like the Sikhs. I believe that we all come from different cultures and backgrounds, but are bound by a common thread of common interpretations and ideologies. That is what the Spiritual Life Council represents: diversity with similarities. Thank you.
Hi everybody, I'm Abubakar, I'm senior, and I'm really glad that I'm representing my faith, Islam. Islam is a monotheistic Abrahamic religion that is practiced by almost 2 billion people in the world. The word Islam has 2 meanings: peace and submission to God. This submission requires a fully conscious and willing effort to submit to the one Almighty God. Islam is careful to remind Muslims that it's not a religion to be paid by merely one's claim of being a Muslim. Rather, it's an all-encompassing way of life that must be practiced continuously for it to be Islam. The Muslim must practice the 5 pillars of the religion, the declaration of faith in the oneness of Allah and the prophethood of Muhammad, praying in 5 times a day, fasting the month of Ramadan, paying zakat, which is a tax for charity, and the pilgrimage to Mecca. Muslims should also believe in the 6 articles of faith, believe in God, the holy books, the Quran, the Torah, and the Christian gospel, the prophets, the angels, the day of judgment, and God's decree, whether for good or ill. Another fact about the current situation of Islam and the Quran have become a subject of major concern to the world media, religious groups, and people, especially after the events of September 11, 2001 in the US. Many articles and books have been written about a religion followed by almost 2 billion people worldwide, some of which saw in Islam a separate civilization that will clash with the current dominant Western civilization. However, that is not the case, and Ahmed will tell you a lot about that issue. But before I finish, for those interested in sincerely seeking the truth about Islam and the current sectarian conflict in the Muslim world, such as Syria, Iraq, Yemen, Ahmed, Ismatu, and I are forming a Muslim club that we can discuss those issues. So we would like you to join us. You don't have to be a Muslim, by the way. And thank you.
Hi everyone. I would like to talk to you a little bit more specifically about Islam. Islam is a religion that worships God and God only. Islam asks Muslims to do good in life and to worship God to get awarded by paradise. It's not a religion that asks for violence against non-Muslims. It's a religion of acceptance and peacefulness. Some terrorist groups use Islam as a reason to terrorize others, but our religion doesn't ask Muslims to kill others because they don't believe in God or Islam. Our religion asks us to represent it with the best we can be, to invite others to join Islam, and to accept if anyone refuses the invitation and understand. ISIS, that claims to be a group of Muslims fighting for God, blew up a mosque, which is the place where Muslims go to pray. Islam forbids Muslims from blowing down any worship place or building. It even asks us not to cut down a tree. So I guess you can tell that ISIS represents nothing but a group of terrorists that kill for dominance. They don't represent Islam in any way. I hope the common misconception of Islam being a terrorist religion changes. Terrorists just need an excuse to terrorize people for their own reasons, and the easiest excuse to use is Islam because it's been misinterpreted for years, and most non-Muslims barely know anything about Islam. It's all about accepting others, being the best you can be, offering help to those in need, and most importantly, believing that God can see all your actions, every single one of them. So just remember that your deeds define you. Whether you're Muslim or not, do good in life, and may God bless you all. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Harman Singh, a 4-year senior, and I follow Sikhism. Sikhism is the world's 5th largest religion and was founded in Punjab, the northwest region of India. I don't want to go into too much depth, but I just want to share some important beliefs that Sikhs believe in. The religion was founded on the ideas and teaching of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. He believed that all religions and people were to be treated equally. During his time, many religions were looked down upon, but he knew that every faith was capable of enlightening their followers. He went on numerous journeys throughout the world, aiming to teach people what would later become known as the Sikh religion. For those of you who don't know, I've never cut my hair before. The reason being because we have been taught to always wear the 5 Ks. Gish, which is uncut hair, which allows people to recognize a Sikh with the uncut beard, along with the turban. Gada, which is a silver bracelet that reminds the Sikhs that God is everywhere. It also allows people to recognize Sikhs, similar to the turban. Before I go into detail about the last 3 Ks, I just want to talk about what being baptized in the Sikh faith means. Taking Amrit is normally done before wearing the last 3 Ks. It's done in a Gurdwara, which is a Sikh temple. Once taking Amrit, it means you have to abide by the rules and laws God has made. It is normally taken once you are certain that you will live by the laws of Sikhi. Now going on to the last 3 Ks, a kshada is third, which is an undergarment worn by Sikhs who have taken Amrit or have been baptized. 4th K is a kanga, which is a small wooden comb Sikhs use for their hair. It's viewed as a symbol of cleanliness. And the last K is a kirpan, which is a small dagger which constantly reminds Sikhs to help and come to the rescue of anyone in peril. Now I've been asked numerous times if I carry around a little sword, and no, I don't. The reason being because I have not taken Amrit, because being baptized is a huge commitment, and I don't feel I'm ready to fully commit. But once you're baptized in the world of Sikhism, you always wear a kirpan, which is a small sword along with the other Ks. I don't want to take up everyone else's time, so I'm going to stop there. I was unable to go into depth about what different beliefs Sikhi entails, but if anyone has a specific question or just wants to talk, please feel free to email me, hsing@taftschool.org, or stop me in the hallway. I'd be delighted to answer any questions anyone has. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Bella Horstman,
And I'm Leanna Hickey.
and we're the co-heads of the Jewish Student Organization this year. Judaism is a monotheistic religion that developed among the ancient Hebrews in Israel. We believe in one transcendent God and faithfulness to the laws of the Torah. Judaism began when God revealed himself to the Hebrew prophets, Abraham and Moses, enlightening them with the Torah and Jewish moralities and traditions. However, for us, Judaism extends further than just a religion. Being Jewish means not only having a certain set of beliefs, but a strong community practicing a virtuous way of life.
In the religion of Judaism, there are 3 sects of practice. Reform Judaism, which is what I practice, is a form of Judaism initiated in Germany by the philosopher Moses Mendelssohn that has reformed or abandoned aspects of Orthodox Jewish worship and ritual in an attempt to adapt to modern changes in social, political, and cultural life.
Conservative Judaism, which is what I practice, is a form of Judaism particularly prevalent in North America that seeks to preserve Jewish tradition and ritual, but has a more flexible approach to the interpretation of the law than Orthodox Judaism.
And Orthodox Judaism adheres to the Torah and Talmud as interpreted in an authoritative rabbinic law code and applies their principles and regulations to modern living. At Taft, we have tried to make JSO a place where all Jewish students feel welcome. Judaism is as much a cultural religion as it is a spiritual religion. The customs and traditional values differ between individuals, but together at Taft, we have a really solid community. If you're at all interested in getting involved with JSO, please get in touch with one of us. We're both really excited for a great year.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Nick Margosia. I'm a junior. I'm one of the co-heads of Focus this year, together with Tisha. I'm a Protestant Christian. I belong to the United Methodist Church, as I'm sure many of you do in this room. An interesting thing is that I come from a family of non-practicing Christians, and even though we used to view Christianity as part of our identity and we were baptized as kids, me and my siblings, my parents were always imbued with some kind of religious skepticism. They looked at church as an institution that is more commercial than spiritual. And to be honest, this perception still persists within me to this present day, and it shapes my spirituality and the way I view religion in general. To me, Christianity entails much more than just a pastor, a church, or even the Bible itself. To me, Christianity is a way of life and a force that has shaped the world around us. In fact, I started to think of Christianity in the context of identity when I came to realize that Christianity is important to me as a Christian for the same reason it is important for non-Christians and people in the world in general. Not all of you in this room are Christians, but you are to a degree beneficiaries of what Christianity has done for humanity as a whole. Just think about this for a moment. Without Christianity, there would be no art masterpieces like the Sistine Chapel ceiling and the creation of Adam by Michelangelo, no Last Supper by Leonardo da Vinci, no Madonna di San Sisto by Raphael, and countless other works whose authors were inspired by the essential idea and message of Christianity. Without Christianity, there would be no Declaration of Independence, or at least the way we have it today. While founders of this country were certainly in favor of separating religion and state, it is also their personal religious conviction that made them start the Declaration of Independence with the following words: "We hold this truth to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, and that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among those are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness." Without Christianity, Martin Luther King would not be able to write one of his most famous and inspiring letters, the one he wrote in Birmingham jail, where he said, "Jesus Christ was an extremist for love, truth, and thereby rose above his environment. Perhaps the South, the nation, and the world as a whole are in dire need of creative extremism." Without Christianity, there would be no words like "do to others as you would have them do to you," a powerful ideology that is relevant for many people, even for those of you who aren't Christians. So when I became head of Focus this year, Tisha and I decided to make our new club far more discussion-based. I think all of you can agree that no matter where you come from, whether it's United States, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, France, no matter what part of the world you represent, Christianity affects all the issues that happen in that particular part of the world to a degree. We still decided to keep the Bible study and spiritual element of our club, but this year we'll be discussing a lot of different topics, such as political campaigns, turmoil in the Middle East, Planned Parenthood controversy, same-sex marriage. This is only a short list of topics that we will be discussing from a Christian and non-Christian perspective this year. So whether you're convinced Christian or not, whether you're Catholic or Protestant, whether you're atheist or agnostic, I hope that some of you will end up coming out to our meetings, because this is something that will generate a lot of discussion on campus, and most importantly will spark the debate between spiritual and non-spiritual aspects of our community. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Tisha Vaneka, and this year I'm going to be co-head of Focus. So today I'm not going to try to tell you the history of Christianity or preach to you. Instead, I'm going to give you my personal views on Christianity and allow you to do with that what you will. So I grew up in a culture where the Lord was prominent in almost anything. You woke up, you prayed. You went to bed, you prayed. You ate, you prayed. You go to a party, you prayed. And so that was instilled in me at a very young age. But then I came to Taft and I learned things like the sky is blue because of molecules and wavelengths and all this nonsense. And rather than the sky is blue because it's God's favorite color. And so that made me question my religion. And Focus was there to answer some of my questions. And I want to allow anyone who wants to have that experience to have it. So whether you are a devout Christian and you are sound in your faith, or you're on the edge and you're not sure, or you're atheist and you really don't agree with anything we say, we still want you there, because what's a discussion without different viewpoints? And so we invite all of you to come out to Focus, have some pizza if we have some, and sit down and have a good conversation. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Erin Young. I'm a 4-year senior, and I'm a Buddhist. Contrary to what many people think, Buddhism is a non-theistic religion. It is more like a philosophy and a way of life. Today I'd like to introduce to you a brief history of Buddhism. Buddhism was founded about 2,500 years ago by Siddhartha Gautama, who we commonly know as the Buddha today. In his youth, he grew up in a bubble. He enjoyed an affluent life in a castle surrounded by extreme luxuries, surrounded by beautiful, happy, and healthy people. He had never seen the realities of the outside world. But one day he went beyond the castle wall and saw people suffering, people agonizing in physical pain from illness and mourning in grief in front of death. This led him to realize that he too would eventually have to face these sufferings. Therefore, devastated that humans have to go through all this pain, in order to find a way to end all sufferings, he decided to abandon all worldly possessions and power to embark on a journey to find an answer to end all problems. After 6 years of meditation, ascetic life, and studying, he found the simple answer that is the central teaching of Buddhism today, that everything is connected and everything can change. Buddhism believes that everyone possesses the potential to become a Buddha, which represents one's truer self, And Buddhism is a lifelong journey to find one's true self and eventually help others with that wisdom. Today, Buddhism uses practical methods like meditation and reflection to discover our truer selves, to become happier. I started to study Buddhism in order to escape from reality, but now it has become an essential part of my life. There are many meditation programs that you can participate all over the world. I personally participated in a program in Korea over the summer, and I learned a lot about myself and what my inner self really wants me to be. So if you have any questions or are interested in Buddhism in any way, it doesn't have to be strictly religious, please come out to one of our meetings or grab me for a good conversation. Thank you.
Amanda Roberts.
And I'm Isabel Holmberg, and we're the co-heads of the Meditation Club.
Today we're going to talk to you about what meditation is, why it's really important, some of its benefits, and also what we do in our Meditation Club meetings. So although meditation is often associated with Buddhism, it can also be simply spiritual or secular as well. Neither of us identify with a particular religion, but we would say that we're spiritual. Because meditation is such a personal experience, you can really make of it what you will. So you can practice it spiritually or religiously if you'd like, but you in no way have to. For example, today there's so many people in sports, business, and medicine who use meditation non-religiously just because it really helps them deal with stress.
So what exactly is meditation? A lot of people think it's like sleeping, but it's not. It's a way to clear your mind of all distractions and worries and focus on the present moment. Through meditation, you can release anger and frustrations, and it can help you improve concentration and focus. The idea is to clear your mind, not to shut it off. If you're meditating and a thought comes into mind, instead of trying to force it away, acknowledge it, accept it, and then let it go.
There are lots of different types of meditation, which include meditating with music, using a mantra, walking meditation, or guided meditation. And because there's so many different types of meditation, you can really find what works best for you and mold it to fit your lifestyle and your schedule. Even if you just take 5 minutes every day to sit up straight, which is key in meditation, focus on your breath, breathe slowly, and focus your mind, you'll notice a difference. And in fact, just 8 weeks of meditation, just a little bit every day, can change the structure of your brain, including increasing the area of your brain that deals with memory and decreasing the area that is responsible for anxiety and stress. And meditation has also been linked to a longer lifespan, which is pretty cool. So there's some really great physical, not just mental effects that meditation has.
So in the past 2 years, during our club meetings, we tended to do guided meditations for about 20 minutes, typically by Deepak Chopra, where Deepak would talk about mindfulness and meditation for the first 5 to 10 minutes, and then he'd give us a mantra to repeat silently while listening to a calming and relaxing music in the background. And for those of you who don't know, a mantra is a word or a sound that you repeat to yourself to help for concentration and meditation. And it's especially useful for beginners because if you get distracted, you can just use it to get back into the meditation mode. Our favorite mantra is Soham, which means I am, and it's really easy to remember. This year, though, we want to open up to different types of meditation, silent meditation, walking meditation, and honestly, any suggestions that anyone has that they want to try out. Meditation is especially important for a place like here at Taft because we're constantly around people and we have such busy schedules, and it's really important just to step back from our hectic lives and just recollect ourselves. Not only does meditation help with stress, but it also cultivates mindfulness, which is about consciousness in the present moment and the awareness of how our actions and energy affect others. So the more mindfulness that we have, the more positive our interactions with others are here.
So maybe you've tried meditation before and you decided that you didn't like it, or you think that it's not going to be for you, and maybe even after this talk you still don't want to try it, but we really encourage you just to come out to one of our Meditation Club meetings and just try it because you'll probably be really surprised. And like we said, you can really make it fit for your lifestyle because there's so many different types of meditation, and also with time and practice it becomes a lot easier. Meditation Club meets almost every Friday at 6 p.m. either in Mr. Taft's living room, which is behind the dining hall, or in the faculty room, and our meetings only last 20 to 25 minutes, so it's really not that long. And we're also thinking about including a couple morning sessions this year. So if you have any links to meditations you'd like us to try, or just any ideas for our meetings, either send us an email or stop us in the hallway. And yeah, we really encourage everyone to just come and try it because it's really relaxing and you can really make it work for you.
So I want to thank everyone on the panel today. You can see all religions aren't represented, so we're going to close with a Hindu prayer. We want to have representation from as many religious traditions as possible. One thing I want to say is that in 2 weeks I'm going to be at the World's Parliament of Religions, which meets every 5 years somewhere on planet Earth. This year it's in the United States. There'll be 10,000 people. People from 80 nations will be there. 50, not 6, but 50 different faith traditions. Leading religious scholars, theologians, and environmentalist leaders from around the world will be there to address 3 critical issues: climate change and care for the earth, wealth inequality and wasteful consumption. Never, the most profane word in the English language is consumer. Never use that word. Think of yourself as a citizen on this green planet. You are a citizen with rights and responsibilities. You are not a consumer. And the last one is war, violence, and hate speech. So we're going to address those issues on a global scale, but what we want to do with our Spiritual Life Council is throughout the year have this continuing conversation around critical issues that affect us and looking at them from different faith traditions, as well as if you're atheist or agnostic. We used to have a fellowship of non-theists here, an atheist club. We were on the panel too, and they were part of it, part of the discussion. And so we hope you can join us throughout the year, and we'll have throw a log on the fire, maybe in the core room, have hot chocolate, and discuss some of these issues. But now we're going to close. Parinas is going to share in the Hindi language a beautiful prayer that comes from the Upanishads, one of the Hindu sacred texts. And then I'm going to read it in English. And the last thing is I'm going to ring the bell once, we'll breathe, we'll sit for 1 minute, and then I'll ring it again. And then we'll go.
Om Bhurbhuva Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodaya.
O God, the protector, the basis of all life, who is self-existent, who is free from all pains, and whose contact frees the soul from all troubles, who pervades the universe and sustains all, the creator, the energizer of the whole universe, the giver of happiness, who is worthy of acceptance, the most excellent, who is pure and the purifier of all. Let us embrace that very God so that she may direct our mental faculties in the right direction. Let's listen to the sound of the bell, relax, breathe. You've got a busy day. You have a lot of busy days here, don't you? This will help you. This can change the world. Have a wonderful day and look for all those surprises that are out there.